Well, there are concerns about a lack of clean and drinkable water in Harding, this in Kwazulu-Natal. Farmers in the area say the water has a strong smell and looks visibly contaminated. Well, they further say it's affecting farm animals. And our reporter eNCA's Nqobile Madlala is in Harding, and she joins us live now to give us this update. Nqobile, good morning to you. I mean, what are farmers' concerns regarding this water?
Well, colleague, I'm going to show you, in fact, this is the water that they're using to irrigate. So I've got to show you this. That's there that you see that's green is literally the water that they're asked to use to irrigate. The dam that we're in is called a farmer's dam, and we understand that this dam has been here for over 30 years. And this is the water that the farmers downstream have been using for years to irrigate for their crop, all sort of things, to make sure that they have enough water for the kettle, they have enough water for irrigating. And there's been fishes here, but over the years it has changed. And as you can see, that algae that we can see here, there's that algae that they're concerned about, but also there's a little bit of a blue thing that we don't understand what it is like. Here you can see it looks a lot like paint, and as a result anything that's here is dying. What you see here might look like it's been burnt off, but it actually hasn't been burnt, and this is just from the water that it's getting, and as a result all the plants are dying. Don't even get me started on the smell, Dumelo. It's really, really, really bad. If I could, I would have a mask on. But now the farmers here say they are tired of having to deal with these issues, and of course they have their representative that's going to speak to us about these issues. I mean, we can see the water is visibly contaminated. We don't understand what's in the water. Tell us a bit about how this affects your work.
Thank you for the opportunity. Yes, we're down here at the dam. It was built by the farmers many years ago to irrigate their crops and also to feed their livestock. Unfortunately, some of the farmers have closed certain sections of their farms down. One chicken farm has closed down now. He's doing vegetables. The extra costs they're carrying now means water purification plants or carrying water, truckloads of water in every day to feed their cattle water. There's no longer fish here. It used to be a recreation dam as well. People used to swim in this dam. It's full of toxic waste. There's no ways this water can be potable at all. And also there's been tests taken. Maritzburg has the results of the tests, and they found human blood, livestock blood. There's also been needles from the hospital that have been found in this dam as well. There used to be a triathlon that was held here every year, which is great for tourism in the area. Unfortunately, that for many years has now been stopped. This is now south of Harding. The north of Harding and Harding Central, their water is still clean. So the purification plant that should be feeding this dam is no longer in working condition. So hence the disaster is now becoming worse and worse on a daily basis. And the farmers eventually will have to close their businesses down, or they'll have to get loans. The roll-on effect here is obviously when they start selling their produce and stuff, they're going to have to sell it at a much higher price. So the community that's buying their product in the shelves of ShopRite, Checkers, wherever, they're going to increase their prices. So the local community are going to suffer at the same point. And it appears there's some kids across the dam here that are fishing. I'm just hoping that they're not going to catch anything, because if they do, if there is anything in here, they will certainly get violently ill, and that we don't want either. We've really got cholera spread throughout the country. We don't need it here in KZN as well. This river that comes from this dam also feeds down Port Shepstone, Port Edward area, and those are massive tourist hubs and everything like that. So the tourist industry on the south coast is already volatile. People will stop coming down to the south coast because of the toxic waste that we've got in our rivers, which eventually flow into the sea. And why would people want to come all the way down from Gauteng or inland to come to a seaside resort when they can't swim in the sea? So it's a terrible situation to be in.
And I mean, I would imagine then this is the kind of situation that you would speak to the municipality about. Tell me, what have they said when you highlight these issues?
The farmers have been to the municipality on numerous occasions over the past 15 years. There's a paper trail that they've got speaking to municipal managers, speaking to Ugu District Municipality, which is this area as well. And they keep on saying they're working on certain objectives to try and clean the water, but unfortunately nothing seems to be done over the years. There's still a lot of sort of talk of planning and stuff like that, but it never materializes. They just keep making excuses as to why the situation is like it is, and they're working on certain objectives to clean the water up, but nothing has happened to date, and that's over a period of 15 to 20 years.
And what is it that you want to happen?
Well, we'd certainly like all the sewage pump stations to be in working order, because the pump station that feeds us, as I said, is not working. So that's a start. Let's get that pump station up and running, and let's make sure that regular tests are done on a weekly basis here, because it's no use the farmers taking water out of here when they have to purify it. So it should be up to the government to provide drinkable and potable water for livestock and also human consumption.
Thank you. Thank you very much for speaking to us. Well, colleague, as you can hear there, the farmer just saying that they do want the government to assist them in this. I'll show you that water again. That is the water that is being used to currently irrigate the food, and that is something that they now have to purify, meaning that there's more cost in making sure that their food is irrigated. And as you can see, the plants here are dying. Imagine if you are now having a crop that you need to put water into, what would happen to that? So the farmers just saying that they want to, of course, account and assist in making sure that this dam goes back to what it was.
And I can understand the concerns around the cholera outbreak, because we've seen those numbers increasing in Hammanskraal. You guess they're saying that they would not want, Kwazulu-Natal to fall victim. We know that the Northwest Province, Free State, Gauteng now are having those cases. Even in Mpumalanga recording its first case, I understand, of cholera. And it's also concerning that there's still some young people fishing, and the hope is that they do not consume that fish because it might be deadly because of that contaminated water. We'll continue to, of course, place a spotlight on these water issues in the country, with you, Nqobile Madlala, being out there for us in KwaZulu-Natal, bringing this story for us to the fore. Residents as well as farmers are growing increasingly concerned about contaminated water, and that being one of the residents in Harding in KwaZulu-Natal.